Yesterday on the live, we talked about money, but in a different way. One of the things that you have to talk about before you talk about money is your identity. Because so many people, they're chasing money, but they don't know their identity. And we spend so much time trying to find our identity, but you don't have to find your identity. All you have to do is learn yourself. Yeah, if you allow the world to create an identity for you, they will lease you out for cheap. They'll have you thinking that you have to over explain yourself, that you have to work 1,000,000 hours of overtime. Yeah, you don't have to do that. Your identity is not in what others created for you. No, your identity was formed before the foundation of the earth. Yeah, your identity says is in God. He said that there is no condemnation. So we out here allowing people to condemn us and shame us and things of the nature. He said that I can do all things through Christ. Yeah, you're very powerful. You have an assurance about yourself. I'm telling you that you got what it takes. But before you go out here chase some checks or a check, you need to know who you are. And you're more powerful than the person that you see in the mirror every day. One of the things that I talked about on the live on my podcast yesterday is that our identity has been created by a bunch of people that bled on us. They had bleeding stories. I recall every elementary school teacher, every middle school teacher, the high school teachers, family members, friends, our best friend's mother, all of them, they bled on us. They sold us struggles. They sold us survival stories. And so our identity was shaped by a bunch of broken people. You heard what I said? Yeah, I remember in elementary, I never heard my elementary school teachers talk about success stories. I never heard them talk about in middle school. I heard them, they said that we were slaves. Yeah, they made that loud and clear. We talked about the assassination of various black history advocates. And we talked about how Harriet Tubman, but nobody, cousins in them, aunts in them, they never told us about any success. They always told us to go out and survive, but not strive, not try to achieve. They said, go out and get yourself a nice job. They didn't say anything about being an entrepreneur. They talked about what they went through and things, and they bled on us. Yeah. Thereby creating a false identification. They gave us they gave us an identity that wasn't even ours. I am saying to each and every one of you, and I said this yesterday, that you have to find your identity before you can find a check. It's a dangerous thing. And your identity, you have to unlearn some of the things that you were taught when we were growing up. You have to unlearn some thought processes. You have to unlearn some behaviors. Yeah, because their stories is not your stories. Yeah, they instead of them giving us a life of reflections of what's going on out here, the nature and things, they gave us a life of projections. Yeah, they projected their emptiness on us. They projected their brokenness on us and our burden. You have to come in line with your true identity. When you go to that mirror, you look in that thing, and the person you see in that thing, you got to see it. to the 50th exponent because you're greater. Baby, let's stop. Gather yourself. Look at your identity. Spend some time with yourself. Before you go out here and you're going out here and trying to make money here, I'm telling you, I don't want depression to sink in. I want happiness to sink in. They said that 85% of the people that won the Mega Millions, they go bankrupt in 5 years. And 90% of them say that they wish they never won it. Why? Because their character and their identity wasn't in line with what they have. I want you to get the blessing, and I want you to keep the blessing. But in order to keep the blessing, your character has to be strengthened. Your identity has to be strengthened. Yeah, because what happens, a confused identity is a cheap brand, baby. So let's get it. Let's go. And you got to know that in your identity that there's no weapon that it will ever be formed that shall prosper. But sometimes we do form the weapon that's used against us. And let's stop it. So I need you to take off those clothes of, those bleeding clothes and put on your rightful clothes. Yeah, because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And drive on. Do good.